So we are live. Hello, everybody. This is another show of eJenn Solution, the podcast series. I'm excited today to bring to you a photographer who has used social media to really grow his business. And I'm going to introduce him and explain a little bit. First of all, his name is Patrick Stinnett, and he's co-owner of Stinnett Studios. And you may notice his last name is the same as mine. If you're listening to this and you're not seeing us, you can see how much younger I am than him. So he is actually my older brother. All right, I'm just kidding. He's my younger brother. But he does have his own photography business, and he's had that for over 11 years. And I just wanted everyone to get a sense and an idea of what it was like for him starting out and to tell his story about how he grew his business. And he did it with social media. So Patrick, I'm going to hand it over to you so that you can tell us a little bit about your background, what you do and your business, and really kind of how you started in photography too. I know it's
Sure. Yeah, no, I could talk about that. So when I was first starting in photography, I thought it was a interesting subject matter to kind of get into. I was excited about it. I didn't know anything about it. But then I went and I attended the YouTube University.
You did? You attended YouTube?
YouTube University. That's a friend of mine called it YouTube University, where you learn all of your stuff on YouTube because there's so much information out on YouTube. So I learned a lot of what I know with the photography, with those pieces out on YouTube. I mean, there's knowledge everywhere.
So you use social media to learn?
Oh yeah, for sure. So like some of these other sites that I've gone on, like F-Stoppers, and there's a bunch of other websites and stuff like that. I mean, they are on social media. So I use those a lot to kind of get my connections, figure out how the photographers were doing it. And that's really what started me into the business. I didn't take a traditional class. There was trial and error. There was a lot of YouTube stuff, a lot of taking creative live online. So that's really how I got into it. Because again, you can go out and take pictures. Anybody can take pictures. Everybody has a phone. But having the knowledge to do it and to do it well and to make money at it takes a little time. So I started out doing weddings. I think the first time I started was when I was on Craigslist. So I listed something out there on Craigslist and said, hey, I'll shoot your wedding, pay my gas to get there. And I shot it, and it wasn't very good. The photos they were okay, but they weren't expecting much. And charging $50, they don't expect much. So I took pictures like Uncle Bob would take them. So like any kind of, like just standard, photos or shots that Uncle Bob would take. But that got me started. That got me curious about it. That got me interested in it. That started to get me to where I kind of tried to figure out how do I get more people. These were just random people on Craigslist. So then I grew from there. That's really where I started. My background's in technology, so I'm a technology teacher. Is my day job. So I know a lot about technology, and photography is a really technological specialty, because you have to know how to use the cameras, you have to know how to use the software, you have to know how to use all of those pieces. So again, having that background really helps too, to have that knowledge on it and everything.
Yeah. So. And to be clear, you went to college to become a teacher. I mean, that was really what you went to college for.
Yeah. I went to college for technology education, so to be a tech ed teacher. And I do use some of the stuff that I actually know, like I actually teach a graphic design class in school. So I've actually taken kids and taught them some of the things that I've learned when I've been doing weddings and things like that. So I take that knowledge and kind of share it with everybody. But yeah, so I mean, that's really my background. I like technology and I enjoy it. So that's my background.
Gotcha. And because I know you, I know that even when you were in college, you were taking pictures and using your camera and things like that too. So, I mean, yep. you just always really liked taking pictures of nature and things that you have found. And just
and that's where everybody starts. Everybody makes fun of, photographers, people who call themselves photographers and take pictures of flowers and things like that. I mean, yeah, but you have to start somewhere. So taking pictures of flowers is somewhere to start. But to get into wedding photography and to get into that aspect of it, you're doing live things. So that's a much more, it's a way different way of doing things. It's a lot more high paced. It's a lot more less chance. You don't have your model sitting there like what you do with a flower. Flower just sits there. Wedding photography, they're always bouncing around and doing stuff. So you always have to worry about that, the constant movement, things like that. So.
Right. So you started off on Craigslist.
Yep.
And I know people probably laugh, but I can tell you when I was starting my business, I was looking for people on Craigslist to help me in some of my services too. So it's not a bad place to start and get your foot in the door. And I think people who are on Craigslist expect to find someone who's maybe just starting out. And so you're right. I mean, so how did you go then? So did you have a website after that first session?
Yes. So after that, because the reason I did it was I needed to have some stuff that I could show people that what I could do. So people have to see what you can do, because in photography, that's basically what it is. It's your photos. So they have to see what you can do. So you have to get that experience. You have to get that background. You have to get those things so that everybody can see it. So then, immediately after that, I think I put together a real easy. I got a template for a website. I didn't do Wix. I did go get my own website, so I got stinetstudios.com. I thought that was a little more professional than getting a Wix site, or some free site like that.
You use WordPress or something like that.
Yeah, WordPress, or I went and got a template. I forget where exactly I got it, but I got a template. Used like Dreamweaver. I had a little background. This is technology. I have a little background in web design, so put it together. But something just a little more professional than like a Wix.
Yeah.
And when you want to start making a little more money, you have to have a more professional looking front, because that's your store, is the website.
Right.
So.
I think a lot of people miss that. And I know in our last episode, we had a photographer who does just that. She takes photos for businesses. And the same thing, she does a lot of research and, how to present that best image. So exact same thing, you have to do that for the wedding. If you're a wedding photographer, then it has to be awesome wedding.
Yep.
So how did you go? So how did you start then? So you took that, you made the website, and you started on Facebook. And do you need to take a drink? I'll let you.
Yeah, one second.
No, that's all right. But
Yeah, I started doing that. What I did is I went on Facebook because I wanted to share with everybody that we were doing. Facebook is pretty amazing from the standpoint that a lot of families use it to share a lot of their pictures and stuff like that. So there's nothing more important in a family than a wedding.
The wedding.
Everybody wants to see what everybody looked like there. They want to see, Uncle Bob and everybody that attended. So my thought is to take these pictures that I'm taking. I take like a couple thousand probably per wedding. So I take maybe like 100 of them, and then I post them out there for free for everybody to take a look at. And all the parents and the grandmas and everybody that's on Facebook love to share them, and then they comment on them, and then they share them with everybody else. So it's a real good way to get that word of mouth using Facebook. So that's really, Facebook shines at that point.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I can imagine. I mean, especially a wedding, and two, just from a social media standpoint, when you use the word congratulations or anything like that, it gets pushed into the organic reach a little bit more. So there's keywords like that Facebook understands that will push it to higher organic reach, especially for business pages.
Right. So, and then doing that too with the bride would always share it on her page, and then again all of her friends would see it, and that just goes nuts, and then they get it in the algorithm. And yeah, it really helped starting out at first, because then I won't say I get a lot of business from Facebook. A lot of it is word from mouth, but a lot of it comes from that viral kind of type thing. Susie saw Tony's wedding, and she thought it was amazing, and then she told Cindy, and Cindy thought, well, maybe I'll give him a call. So it's that kind of bouncing around thing that Facebook does. So,
but it's a word of mouth. And the interesting thing is, well, let me ask you this. It's just a quick question. When people come to you to order or to inquire about your services, do you ask them how they found you?
Yeah, most of the time I do. I kind of try to, because you want to know where your marketing is working and where it's not.
Yep.
So yeah, most of the time, and hands down, most of the time it's from somebody else that I did a wedding for. Just recently, I got another wedding that was the sister that was in the wedding of the bride I did before. So now it's like 2 years later, and she's getting married. So she came to me and she wants to go with us because she liked what we did for her sister. So you get a lot of that repeat, business, a lot of friends, that were in the wedding, liked what we did and stuff like that.
Yeah. So, so when you started, you probably put a lot of pictures out there because you were trying to get the word out and everything. And people, here's the other thing. I kind of don't know the answer to this, so I'm curious. How did you do the tagging part? Because I think tagging has changed over the years with Facebook. But how did you work with that, and did you use that as far as tagging in the pictures?
Yeah, so the tagging, the way Facebook has tagging set up is you can't tag the person unless they're a friend of yours, and so that's kind of frustrating at times because you want to tag the bride and make sure that she's in it. So some of the things that we would do is, again, we would encourage her to share her album or to encourage her to put it on her website. So we'd give instructions on how to do that. So then she would share it on her website, and that would kind of make it, go out to more people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that was one way we kind of got around the tagging issue. Again, another good way to tag was sometimes we'd work with vendors. So there'd be somebody there for food or cakes or DJ. So we would maybe take them in it and say, oh, this business was here doing this. And then that would kind of send it to his website. And if they accepted it, then they could, share it out. And then you do the same thing. So again, when as a wedding photographer, you talk to vendors, you talk to all the people that are there. Those connections are there in the real time. And then they kind of go out, into the virtual world and kind of make those connections.
Right, because a business page can tag other business pages.
Yep.
So that's perfect. And even if you are listening and you have a business like maybe trade shows, getting to meet other people at trade shows and pictures and tagging and comments, that is a great way. That's actually brilliant. Mm-hmm. Tagging other people in your comments and really kind of building that community up. Especially for you in the wedding industry too, because the local DJ may recommend you now because they remembered you. The cake person, I don't know what their title is exactly, but you know what I mean. All of them, do that. That's awesome. That's very smart.
Yep.
So you tagged, and have you ever used Facebook ads or Facebook? Like, I don't want to know dollar amounts, but just did you find success with that?
Yeah, we did Facebook ads for a while. So we did do them. We did get a few inquiries off of them. I can't say for sure if we got, a number of them, but we really didn't do a big budget. Like, I think maybe we spent $50 to $100 in Facebook ads, but we would get stuff from it, and we'd get random people that would email us and things like that. So I can't say that we didn't get more business, but then I can't say we did.
Right.
It was kind of hit or miss. And again, this is my second job, so I didn't want to invest a lot in that marketing, just because of the fact that I don't need
you can't take too many on.
Right. If I take too many on, then I don't have time for my real, my day job.
Right. So. Right. But I think it's interesting to note that did help, and that was a piece of, what you did too. Yeah. Would you say, because I don't think you do that now, but I think you did that in the beginning, didn't you?
Yep. Yeah, for sure. Because again, it's about getting your name out there and making sure you know your area. We just recently moved, so that's a thing I should be getting on more, is to really focus on the area that I moved to. Because again, that word of mouth and Facebook is very good at being very specific to the area. So when we were hitting those ads, we were hitting Watertown, that place in Wisconsin. I mean, that was a very specific place that we were hitting. And that was where everybody would see our Facebook stuff. A lot of the brides came from there too. So again, sharing in that local area. So I think it's important.
It was working then because you were getting that local community or that local business.
Yep. Yep, and again, Facebook does a really good job of showing your demographics, showing all that. I mean, they have all of those data points, so you could see what's happening, on your page. I can see every single time that we post stuff from a new wedding. I could see it just go crazy, and then it kind of slowly gets, less. But I can see where it's bouncing around. I can see who it's getting to. So it does really help you to narrow that field down. Because you don't want to waste time with grandpa and grandma. You want to waste time with, you focus on, the younger friends of the bride that you have, and you could see that on there. You could see their ages. You could see all that stuff. So
and when you're saying you're looking, what you're really looking at is Facebook Insights.
Facebook Insights. Yep.
Because that is a great piece, and not a lot of people know that they can do that and should do that. Because that really, as you said, that really tells you who your demographic is, who's sharing it, where it's going, all that good stuff.
Yep. So you can focus in on it.
So you do videos as well as photography. How, just in your opinion, and just a personal opinion, how do you feel video is doing versus the photos? Is there a difference in your mind, or is it about the same?
Yeah, I would say it depends on the type of video, but I would say video has a much bigger impact. Yeah. Video is absolutely important because, again, people can learn things from it. They get the interaction with it. There's so much more you could do with video than you can do, with photos. Photos are important, and I think photos are nice because they're quick and they're easy and they get across. I've just recently, and this is bad coming from somebody who does photography, but I just recently got into Instagram. So Instagram, I know.
I told you to.
I sound like I'm from 1980 or something. I'm really old. But Instagram, it is pretty neat because one of my friends was talking about how he doesn't like Facebook anymore because it's got all kinds of stupid political ads and it's just becoming a big yelling stupid feel. But in Instagram, you have, where you could just post pictures and just people watch pictures. So from a business standpoint, when you don't want people to look, at all of the noise, you can focus on your pictures and you could say, this is what I have, this is what I do, so I really think I'm going to start doing a lot of Instagram, things like that. So it really does a nice way of just showing pictures, things like that. Yes, you were right. So.
That's so nice to hear you say that. Yeah. Just kidding. But in conjunction with that too, it's the hashtags. And for you, wedding photography, and I'm sure as you learn, you'll start to see what hashtags work well for you because again, you want to look at your insights, you want to see what people are doing. And one thing, and I think you did this is nothing for you, it's just for listeners. When you open up an Instagram account, make sure you open it up for your business, not your personal. And how you can do that is to go into the Instagram settings and you scroll all the way down and you'll find a thing, switch to business account. Or if you have a business account, it'll say switch back to personal. But you really want to have that business account on Instagram set up and connected to your Facebook page. It's really going to give you the best use of Instagram to integrate.
And that's one thing that I do too is I tie it into Facebook. So every time I share something out, I always make sure it goes to Facebook and goes to my page, which is nice.
So yeah, I'm excited to see what you do with Instagram. Have you, because I know you just started, it's a different format for video on Instagram. Are you going to be frustrated by that, do you think? Or is that going to be an easy integration for you?
Yeah, I think right now, I think it would be fairly easy. It's just, I don't have a great camera phone. So upgrading and getting something that does a little higher quality would be nice. Or having somebody, I could do video and then post it through there and do some posts with it. And
so you're looking at doing it maybe during the wedding or at the wedding from your phone?
To do like a live feed of what I'm doing and stuff. So that seems to be what a lot of Instagram is just in the moment. You could just grab your phone and just show exactly what you're doing and how you're going through, the process and stuff, which is fun because I follow some people on there that's basically what they do. And it is nice to just see what's going on.
Well, you get a lot of notifications more when you do live events, and that's really the beauty of live and Instagram stories and all that good stuff. Yep. Now Facebook stories too, same thing. Mm-hmm. But one of the things, and I'll show you how to do this, and I'm sure I'm going to have a blog post or a class on this too, is how to get the Instagram stories to be highlighted on your profile. So sometimes you'll see the bio, and then you'll see little circles that stay there. And some people will put in, wedding photos, wedding video, or, some things that are each of your services so that they can see that video, and that stays on there. So that's kind of a cool little thing that you're able to do with Instagram to really promote your business.
That would be cool.
So I just want to kind of find out if you have, because we all love wedding stories.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any wedding stories you can share with us that were funny or not funny, I guess, or funny?
Yeah,
Funny's
funny's always good. I don't have too many. Like, a lot of people think like weddings are, just crazy and just crazy stuff happens at it. I haven't had a lot of really crazy ones. I think the most unique one is just that I had one wedding where I had, two people that were from previous weddings that I had. So it was like two brides and then the third bride that I was doing that day. So that was kind of cool, being able to see that I did all of these weddings and now I have, this other bride. Again, it kind of shows you how everybody's connected. But that was kind of neat having all of those people there and stuff like that. We were friends with one person that we did the wedding for, and then we were hanging out with them later, and they were friends with somebody that came over, and they're like, "Hey, how do you know the wedding photographers?" Because we had done their wedding, so they were like, "Oh, well, we're friends with them," and they're like, "Oh, well, they're wedding photographers. Did you know that?" Like, yeah. So it was kind of weird that they bumped into each other and they knew it. It's like what is that? 6 degrees of bacon or 5 degrees of bacon?
6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. I know, but it's like that. You're just all connected to it. So yeah. That was probably the most enjoyable. The best stories that I could tell. The other thing about weddings is they never go according to schedule. I don't think I've ever been to a wedding that's ever on time. So.
Well, I've seen some of the pictures. I mean, you had I want to say crossbow, but that might not be right. Just bow.
Oh yeah, bow hunting. So one of the brides was, because we do a rural area, so we get a lot of rural brides and stuff. But they were both big bow hunters. So yeah, they were bow hunting. So they both had their compound bows, and we went and shot that at a state park. And they were able to bring their compound bows in there, and they were both drawing and stuff. It turned out nice, and then we did some field shots, and then we did stuff with the whole group and everything. So that was a lot of fun. So
yeah. Well, yeah. I think that's cool that you can take in all those different things, all those different types of personality into the pictures. So I kind of want to go back, because I actually didn't realize that you had used YouTube so much to learn your business. And I know you've always recommended to me F-Stoppers as a really good resource.
Yep.
Is that really where you kind of learned a lot, or?
Yeah, F-Stoppers.
Keep learning.
F-Stoppers was really good. Creative Live. I'm a really big fan of Creative Live. I haven't done a lot of it recently, but they do a thing where if it's live, you can watch the whole process or whatever they're teaching. You can watch it live, and then you don't have to pay for it. So you can sit there, you can ask questions, you can watch the whole thing, and there's a time commitment to it, because usually they run like 2-3 hours. But you can sit there and literally take a class as it's happening.
Wow.
But then afterwards, if you want to see everything that they went through, you have to pay for it.
Okay.
And I thought that's a brilliant model, because again, you can see what you're getting. If you like it and you don't have the time, then you go and you pay for it and you download it. And then you can use it later. And I have done that, because sometimes with the cameras, there's settings and things like that they go through fairly quick, and you want to go back and you want to take a look at it and you want to see what they did, and then you pay for it, and then you can, just click through it. And it's like YouTube, except these are much more focused. YouTube's great, and you can get a lot of good stuff on there, but there's a lot of stuff to filter through. So Creative Live gave me very specific.
And you can ask questions during the live?
Yeah, during the live thing, people are constantly asking questions. If they get a chance to ask, they'll ask. They have actual hosts on there. So those hosts will actually sit and they'll actually take comments from the internet during that live session, and then they'll go through it. It's just like sitting in a classroom. which
and it's free.
I know a bit about. Yeah, and it's free. It's free if you have that 2 to 3 hours to kind of do it.
So
that's the key is sometimes people don't have that time.
yeah.
But even watching it for 30 minutes, you can get an idea if you're going to like it or not, and then you can purchase it later. So I always like that.
Yeah, that's actually a really good. So just for the listeners, what types of things do they go into? Is that, just who would watch that? Is creativelive.com or?
Yeah, creativelive.com. And it's basically all just creative avenues. So they do like stuff with Photoshop. They do stuff with how to use Lightroom. They focus a lot on photography, video. They actually had a really good one on how to make movies and do cinematic kind of stuff. They have things on drones. They do senior pictures, but a lot of video and pictures and manipulating and editing. Anything digital, they kind of focus on.
Oh, that's cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
So those are your two favorite ones? Two favorites?
Yeah, Creative Live, of course, YouTube, F-stoppers.
Yeah.
Adobe has some really good stuff. If you're basic and you want to start into things, Adobe has a lot of good free stuff on theirs. For school, I use their Adobe Education Exchange, and so I use that a lot for school to teach graphic design and Photoshop and things like that.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, so what program do you use for your pictures, and do you have a favorite one? Do you use a couple different ones, or what one are you using?
I use all kinds. I have the Creative Live or the Creative digital pack that Adobe offers. So that includes, everything.
Oh, that's fine. I just was curious,
Yeah, I use a lot of Photoshop. The main program that I use is Lightroom. So I use Lightroom like crazy. That is the program that you need to have if you're in photography and stuff. So again, Lightroom is really a big program to use, and Photoshop. So
okay, well, great. Well, I know. Can you tell us really quickly here before we wrap up? Do you have any favorite places that you like to photograph, like whether it's personal or for weddings?
Yeah, so I like fields. Fields
Really?
are probably one of my favorites. Yeah, because as long as you have grass, like high grass or like high flowers or something like that, you make anything work. And sunsets. I really enjoy sunsets. So grabbing that sweet spot where the sunset is just setting and things like that, I love doing sunset pictures. But yeah, I mean, I shot my very first sunset picture was actually in a cul-de-sac of a hotel, and they just actually forgot to cut the grass, and it was real high. And then I put the bride behind it. Sunset was right behind it, and I shot that picture, and that's one of probably my favorites. So
awesome. Well, send me that picture if you don't mind, and I'll put that on the blog.
Yeah.
And so everyone else can see that too. So if you're listening, head over to ejennsolutions.com to the blog, and this is episode number 3. So thank you for being here. How can they contact you if they're in the area of Wisconsin?
Wisconsin. Yeah, if you're in Wisconsin and you need some photos done.
You can also come and look at your site too.
Yeah, we can do that. StinetStudios.com. Just go on there. My website's on there, or my email is on there. You can follow me on Instagram. You can follow me on Facebook and things like that. So you can check out videos, things like that we do. So.
Really quickly, Stinnett is STINNETT and studios plural.com. And do you know your Instagram handle, or is it Patrick Stinnett? Your eyes. I take it you do not.
No, I put in my personal address. So it's Stinnett.Patrick@gmail.com.
All right. We'll get you started on Stinnett Studios Instagram.
Good. I look forward to it.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate your insights greatly.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.